Good afternoon, guys. Manny here from Manny's How To Workshop with a video on installing Pergo flooring for the first time. Basically, what I'm doing here in this house is installing the flooring in the bedroom, which this is the master bedroom. And I went ahead and also installed it in this master bedroom bathroom closet. Hold on, let me turn on the light. Oops. Come on, focus. If my camera would focus, you could actually see, but it's probably because of the lighting. So, but you can see I already did the closet there. And also, I did the bathroom, okay, which is, the toilet has its own little room, okay, which is right there. And the worst part is right here, transition. For the first time, you know, you can run into some issues, but all in all, it wasn't that bad. All right, and see that right there, that toilet flange? Yeah, the old one was all rusted out, so I had to tear up the old one and put in a new one. That one's a PVC one. All right, so let me bring you back into the bedroom and show you basically what I'm doing. All right, so this, you can see, is a concrete floor. For concrete floors, you need to install an underlayment. Also, this Pergo flooring is 7/16 inch thick. It's what do you call it? It's like tongue and groove, but it's lock tab. Okay, and you know, there's different processes of how to get it started, but I think the easiest that I found is actually to start on the left side of the room. Wow, this thing doesn't like cheap lighting. Anyway, here we go. Come on, focus. Come on, Samsung. So anyway, like I said, I started right there on the left, okay, and went all the way to the right. And this room is not exactly square because you can see by the doorway, whereas another transition is going to go to it. There's a little recess right there, probably like 5 inches. So that technically, that was the first row, but I had to measure to make sure that, you know, I didn't end up with like a 2-inch piece on that side. So, and then you go from left to right. And so at first you're going to install it in a certain direction. And then when you get so far out, then you can turn around and start doing it the other way. But manufacturer recommends 3/8 gap all around. I went with a 1/4 inch. And it's not that much of a difference, but of all the people that I've seen install flooring like this, they went with 1/4 inch. So that's what I did. And then, like I said, you're going to need those spacers, which that little guy is right there is a spacer. And if I bring you around this way, you can see I have spacers mostly on the right, on this side, which to me is right side because when I work, I'm facing that way. So, and on that side right there, because why? Because when you're having to pound the flooring, usually you're pounding from the left to the right, and you want support up against the wall so the floor doesn't shift. Also on the back, you want spacers in the back so that when you're pounding in this direction towards you, you don't want the floor to shift. All right, so this underlayment here, this is the 2mm one. You know, looked at the different recommendations. This is the silver. They have one that's called gold. That's 3mm thick. But for this floor, it's so thick that you really don't need it. But that does both. It's a vapor barrier and also provides cushion, all right, or padding. So basically, to install this, you can either start with a full piece or a partial piece. And partial, you want it no less than 8 inches. I started with 12. And at the joints, let me see. The offset joints, you don't want no more than, no less than 12. As you can see, there's one there, there's one here, there's one there. All right, and that's the pattern you want to keep. And then usually when you get to the end, whatever is left over here that you have to cut, that will be the start for your next row over there, like on the right. Now, to try to save material, I'm trying to use as much as I can. Like, for example, here I decided to go with a small piece, but then at the same time, I also, ahead of time, I placed down my full pieces just to see where it will end up. Because like I said, every room's going to be different. And as you can see, with that, if I put another full piece here, and then that full piece right there is going to be the one that's going to take up the space from here all the way to there. This little piece is actually for this space right here, for this row. And then this piece is for this space right there. And I'm going to show you how to measure for when you get to the end. And you can see it's flipped on upside down on its back. And you flip it over, so the end that was over there is now over here. And then you butt this one up against the wall. And there's an automatic 1/4 inch gap right there. Let's see if we can get in on it right there. Or right over it. All right, see that 1/4 inch gap? Yeah, right there. So if you come over here, all you gotta do is find your mark here. See the end of the bottom of this piece right there? From this edge, which right there, that's the edge that you're worried about. You want to come in this way about 1/4 inch, because when you flip it back and cut it, this is the end that's going to go over there on the wall, and it's going to be exactly about 1/4 inch from the molding. Okay, so you can see, here we go, focus, come on, focus, there we go. The gap is pretty much 1/4 inch all the way down. And that's what the spacers help you do also. Helps you keep the gap the same. So those spacers are set at 1/4 inch. And what I did was I taped mine together. They're two pieces and they have ribs on them. Wow, can't move too fast or it loses focus. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. This is a new phone. And I guess the camera app on this one is not all that great. But anyway, let me see if I can show you guys what this looks like. All right, so you can see I sandwiched them together, and this right here, it has these grooves that the bottom one connects to the top one. And once I got my 1/4 inch thickness right here where the tape is, then I taped it together with some painter's tape. All right, because that way that you're not messing around with these things falling apart or trying to keep them together. So, and it's just easy. And what I did was, this came in a kit along with this tapping block right here and this pull bar right there. That's for when you get on this side right here and you need to close up the seams. You just use that with a hammer, regular hammer, and that will help seat the seam. Also, I would recommend getting a rubber mallet, because for when you're tapping this way, when you pull that piece up on an angle about 1 inch high, and you're pounding this way, and then you push back down and it locks in place, the hammer helps to seat everything, and it doesn't damage the floor. All right, so that's pretty much it. The only other recommendation I can say is that, the old, I don't know how you call it, carpenter's saying, measure twice, cut once, applies here. Let me tell you, because especially when you come to door transitions underneath the molding, let me tell you, man, you probably end up measuring like 3 or 4 times to make sure that those cuts are nice, because what you want is for the piece to slide right underneath the molding. And then how you cut that is that you take your little saw like this. I call mine the Ziggy because it zigzags. LOL. And then you take a blank piece like that, you know, and then flip it upside down, and then make sure that the padding's on the bottom. Put it up against the molding. Take your saw like this, and then you just cut straight back. They also sell a regular hand saw that you can do the same thing. That, you know, the handle's on top, and then you just slide back and forth. But I find that this makes easy work of that. You know, you're not going to get tired from constantly sawing. All right, and you got to do that. You know, like I said, all transitions. Oh, speaking of transitions, Pergo, the company, will not warranty the work, or the material, I should say, unless you put transitions where you have fixed doors. Now, where you have bifolds and all that, they're not worried so much about that. But like from this room to the bathroom, from the bedroom to the living room, and anywhere else that has fixed doors, you need to put the transition. And you know, the same thing applies when you're putting the transition. If you notice right here on the molding, this is about an inch and 1/8, I think, wide. The transition cap is like 1 3/4 inches, so it's plenty to cover both of these once you put it down. And just to show you real quick, this plastic piece is what the transition actually is used to cap the transition channel. So, and it's transition about 3/4 inches wide. So right from the center of this door molding piece right here, you bring this up, make sure it's centered on there, and from this edge to the channel, you want 1/4 inch also for the expansion on both sides. So that way there, when you put the channel transition that holds the T part, because you're going to drill holes in the concrete, put anchors in, screw it down, and then the T part just snaps in. And it comes the same color as the floor also. So when it's done, you got that nice, new, smooth, and it's shallow transition. So like I said, it's going to cover about 1 3/4 inches. So this being 3/4 and then that much, so it's definitely going to cover it all the way across. So, and that goes for, like I said, all transitions. And like I said, this is the worst part right here. Cutting these, making sure everything fits right. You know, I did the same thing over here in this doorway. I found that if I come right to the edge, right to this edge here, down there, as you can see, right there, from that one to the other one, then the transition is going to be perfect when it sets in there, and then I start doing that room. And the reason I'm doing, like I said, this room first is because she's moving in tomorrow, even though I'm not finished with the whole house. She's been staying in a hotel for a couple of weeks, and that's getting kind of expensive. So she needs to come back. And so I figured, well, let me get the bathroom's closet finished, her bedroom. That way, put her bed back in here, and she can at least have use of the house while I'm still working. And in most other areas, I can just work around her. But so my next step is to go ahead and put the underlayment down here, finish that section right there. Since that's pretty square, that's going to be pretty easy to finish up. Landscapers outside, obviously. And then go ahead and start laying this down. So once I lay this down, I'm going to go ahead and come back with a 1/4 round and put it all the way around the seams, all the way here and in the bathroom and master bed closet. Oh, one last thing I wanted to show you guys. All right, when you get a piece out of the box and you see the defect right there, and down there, yeah, it's not all, you know, all hope's not lost, because this end right here, I can still use this piece, and from there down, I can still use on either the left or right side. So just inspect the pieces, make sure they're good, and also these little tongues right here, you got to check those, because sometimes they get little burrs, and they're easy to snap, especially on this side right here. This is the male side, and this is the female side. So this one breaks off pretty easily. Also, another tip I forgot to mention. So if you see I have 4 boxes open, and the reason for that is you want to have at least 3 boxes, working from 3 boxes. Why? Because maybe not in this lighting, but the shading between these can be different. And if I turn, I think in the beginning you guys could see, oh, perfect. There you go, right there. See, the shade here is lighter than this one and these. So basically from the factory, I guess on the lot number, some of them the shading were a little bit darker and some were lighter. So the trick is, if you can see that I picked different ones for different ones, kind of blend it in, you know, because if not, then you'll have, you know, half the room will be light and then the other half will be dark, and that kind of will throw it off. So, and then later, depending on the paint that she chooses for the wall with this model floor, or shading I should say, she has probably about 3 different options of paint. She can go with a gray, like a type of a blue, and a beige, because all those colors are in this flooring. All right. Okay, you guys. Well, this was not intended to be this long, but to try to cover everything, just to make sure that you guys get some good information. It is what it is. But so, like I said, first time doing this, and definitely learning some tricks and how to progress along. But it's coming out pretty good. Customer was just here not earlier when the cable was being installed, and she was very happy so far. So that's the good thing. That's the most important thing. Customer's always happy, right? Well, thanks for watching, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so for more up and coming videos. And also hit that like button, and write me a comment what you think so far, how it's coming. Or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I do answer every comment that I get on my videos. So I'll see you guys the next time, and don't forget to hit the little bell on there. That gives you notifications when I upload new videos. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.